Let's go. Dun dun dun.
Womp womp.
Womp womp bum.
What it do?
Bum, 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 bum.
What's up, chat?
Welcome back.
Flick Filter Nation. I am Big Diesel.
I'm Coach.
And today we're doing a little bit. So as of recording.
Yes, as we're recording.
As of recording, we're going to do some DC news, but by the time it comes out, there's going to be more news that probably comes out.
Yes, there's been a lot of, well, I guess it's more so Warner Brothers news,
Right.
which DC falls under Warner Brothers. But
as I came over here, like something else got announced, like right as we were preparing. So
yes,
wow.
So
it's just going to keep on coming for the next couple of years, probably. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Yeah. So if you don't know by now, Warner Brothers is selling. Yes.
To the highest bidder.
To the highest bidder, exactly. Which to me came as a little bit of a surprise, not a huge surprise, but a little bit of a surprise because of the level of success that they've had this year.
We just got started. Yeah. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of like pretty much every movie for the most part that they've dropped has been a hit, or at least like successful to a hit. Like they've had.
Now here's the thing I want to talk about before we get into it. Is like a lot of people are in two different sides of the spectrum when you talk about superhero fatigue. That word. Some believe it's just because there's just been so many, what would you say, not subpar superhero movies, and some are just, on my spectrum, it's just an oversaturation of same old super. Name some stuff. We got Marvel, we got DC, we got Invincible, we got The Boys, we got everybody trying to do Hancock. Everybody is trying to get on this superhero genre. It's been done so much that it's its own genre at this point.
It is.
I'm not saying that you kind of, and yes, I do feel like it's a little bit of, you got to have better work, but it's a little bit of the oversaturation. I'm not saying I'm getting tired of superhero movies, but if you have a good balance of everything, maybe some superhero movies and then some other movies, I don't think it'd be an oversaturation. I think, especially with Marvel, they were like, it was a thing every month or whatever, which was kind of their downfall.
Yeah, they had a lot.
So I'm not saying superhero movies are bad. You know, we are some big superhero nerds. But I would just say, too much of a good thing is still too much.
True, and I think people are moving away from superhero movies, like the audiences, but also even studios as a whole. Like movies that would have got greenlit 5, 7 years ago aren't being pushed as much. Like you're still gonna get them, but they're not the dominant like force that they were in like the 2010s, where you just everything that made money. Well, not everything, but the things that made the most money were in the superhero genre, aside from like a few exceptions. Um, but the biggest grossers in the box office were either superheroes or had some sort of existing IP.
Yeah, and that's still the case, I feel. Yeah. I feel like, because studios are really afraid. That's why you have so many of these. Maybe let's say Harry Potter is a good one to say, where they're gonna reboot the thing. What? Like, that wasn't too long ago, and you're already rebooting it instead of just they're so scared of making it an original IP because they don't know how people are gonna like it. So they're all trying to reboot certain things, and it's kind of, I would say that's kind of been killing the movies more than just, oh, it's superheroes, oh, it's horror, or oh, it's this specific genre. It's just we need more originality, and we've talked a number about that. But back to DC related news. Excuse me. I think a lot of people are on different sides of the spectrum. Some are happy because a lot of people, not gonna say who, are really excited because they think James Gunn is gonna get fired or whatever, especially if Netflix buys it because they think Zack Snyder that somehow is gonna bring Zack Snyder back. Which I'm not gonna say never, but at the end of the day, like I feel like a lot of those kind of people just didn't want James Gunn to succeed no matter what the project was and how good it was. They're just professional haters and they're just going to hate on everything James Gunn does because they're so bitter about what happened with Snyder. Which I understand that, but at the same time, let's see what James Gunn is trying to do.
True.
But even then, at the same time, Netflix, I feel like would be a bad move because it would everything would be all streaming, nothing theatrical release, and not everything that Netflix does. Let's be honest, has been good. Especially their Netflix originals have not been good. Um,
I would to add to that, like Netflix. Yeah, there's a tricky thing with them. Like, I don't think they should go to Netflix because Netflix is already has so much dominant power in the streaming era that it would be too overwhelming at this point.
yeah,
They've pretty much won the streaming wars. Like, they have a lot more subscribers than any other streaming, and this would
and price is gonna go up.
it would go way up.
I mean, let's just be honest. We just did something about WWE because they bought WWE, so Raw is on there. So
Yeah, they have a lot, and
they're getting greedy.
I'm not saying Netflix is like has bad content because they have a lot of great content,
Yeah,
but even and then they have some great original content.
yeah.
But they license a lot of their content. They get a lot of content licensed to them. Currently, there are shows from HBO or HBO Max that have gotten licensed
Even CW
um,
stuff, which
to Netflix. So,
I didn't want.
yeah, a lot of CW stuff was on Netflix for a while. I watched some stuff on there.
Black Lightning.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on Netflix. I guess the issue is them having too much control of the market. Just would be bad because it's like they can just make the price whatever they want. And then you have on the other end you have Paramount, which is owned by Skydance, that company, and they're another big bidder in terms of trying to acquire or potentially um, acquire Warner Brothers. I think that would probably be a little bit better because like you still get a lot of Paramount owned movies that get theatrical releases. You like the Mission Impossible, like all of those that's under Paramount. And Tom Cruise is a big proponent of the theatrical experience. Not saying he would necessarily have a say in what happens with Warner Brothers, but I feel like just Paramount, it be under being under Paramount would probably be a better option, at least in my opinion, for the market as a whole, and just for the content. And then we can also get into
Also, like
James Gunn and whatnot.
definitely, we've seen in Marvel, of course, that when something is straight to streaming, it's not always the best thing. And then you got to kind of dilute it. You can't do the CGI like you wanted to do. Think of Arrowverse and think of that as a movie. Or kind of what they've been doing with Star Wars if it goes to Netflix, it's a little more of that.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Netflix, they're not concerned with the theatrical experience at all. Like they just want as many subscribers to their platform
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
And they do have certain exceptions as far as like certain movies that they will put in theaters for a limited amount of time. Like K-pop Demon Hunters was in theaters for it had
A
a little
little
bit
bit, yeah.
of a run, but they just want more subscribers to the platform, and that's one of their most streamed like movies that they've had. So that's all that they want. They want more people coming to their platform, and that's I mean what their goal should be. But from a consumer standpoint and wanting what's best as far as the theatrical business and theatrical experience, um, I would not. I do not don't think that's great because we've had a lot of great movies from Warner Brothers. A lot of financially successful movies that have been in theaters this year. There was um, the Minecraft movie, Sinners, Weapons. Um, I'm forgetting, but a ton of movies this year from Warner Brothers, and most of them made a profit. And I feel like it's been one of their most successful years that they've had in a long time. And so it is interesting that they are selling at this moment, but I feel like they're trying to sell while it's hot and while they're on like a good
Yep.
streak
Yep. Yep.
and get the most money for that. So um,
We
yes,
still got the so let's catch everybody up. I think the next thing that's coming up is the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
so you're talking about specifically DC because Warner Brothers has more than
Well,
just
yeah,
DC.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm just yeah. We're talking about it as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
but you know. But yeah, like DC, I feel like I don't know a lot about Warner Brothers, so
Yeah.
all I know is what's going on with the merger and how that can affect
Mm-hmm.
DC. I'm just gonna be honest, but you know more about that. But when it comes to it, um, we got the Woman of Tomorrow
Yep.
that's coming up
Mm-hmm.
with Millie Alcott.
Yep.
Um, I think Jason Momoa is gonna be in there.
Lobo.
Yep, 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 yep. So yeah, we're gonna get that. We got basically everything has got to do game busters until the actual merger is complete.
Right.
And then from there, which might be 1 or 2 years, give or take. And then from there, we can see, okay, what's going to happen from there. For right now, we can't really predict anything
Mm-hmm.
that well. There's also Lanterns,
Yep.
which is
Lanterns.
going to be good.
Yeah. Hope that would be like a
Prayerfully.
like a detective police procedural.
New detective. Yeah, like
True Detective.
True Detective. True Detective. I knew it was something.
Interesting.
Yep, yep, yep. So investigating something, and it will just kind of lead into more of. I like what James Gunn is doing, even whether you don't like the stuff that just came out. I know Superman was kind of divisive.
Yeah, to an extent.
Some people liked it, some people didn't. Um, some people were a little biased to it. Some people were actually honest with how they felt about it. So I like the more honesty with it when it comes to that. Creature Commandos I thought was good, and Peacemaker is hit or miss. A lot of people are saying they like season one more than season two, but um, yeah. So right now it's still kind of we still got more work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Lantern. So everything's got to still do good in these theaters for people to consider keeping James Gunn.
Yes.
We also got a Clayface movie, which my opinion with the Clayface movie, out of all of the DC Gotham villains, you pick Clayface. I think you could have picked some other ones, but
yeah.
um, We got still the Batman Part Two. Um,
Yep. The
um,
Brave and the Bold. Eventually.
Eventually, yes. And some other stuff. We don't want to announce everything, but yeah. What else you want to talk
What we feel. Well, I will say this. Specifically, like to add on specifically with James Gunn, it's been interesting just looking at the pattern so far with the things that have dropped with his DCU. Because pretty much all the projects so far he's written and or directed. So you had um, Superman. That was his. Right before that, there was Creature Commandos. He wrote all the episodes for that, and we also have Peacemaker season two, which recently finished. So all of those are his projects that he's written or either created or written. So it's like
I think Andy Muschietti is supposed to be doing Brave and the Bold. That's the person that did Flash.
gotcha. Oh yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that the out of the gate, he's been the you know the author of these projects, and it's a lot I would say to put on one person's shoulders. And I'm not saying that he's the only person there. He has a big team. He works with a lot of people. I know he gives credit to the actors and the crew and all that.
He's
But
got a lot of favoritism when it comes to the actors he works with.
that's true.
Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. I
Um,
huh?
oh no, I was just gonna ask when do you feel like it's a bad thing versus
Bad thing?
good?
I feel like if they're not really maybe based off the role, or you could have gave it to somebody better,
Mm,
or it's like, why did you choose that person for that role
yeah. So,
necessarily?
so
You know what I
sometimes you
mean?
think it may be more out of convenience because it's like
Right.
he's worked with them before and y'all gel. They kind of gel
I mean,
well
if they
together.
do a good job, I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to somebody like, and you do too many of it, you got your brother, you got your wife,
Yeah.
and you got so many other people from the Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. You know, the list goes on. You know, I don't mind it, but
Yeah.
when it starts to repeat itself a little bit, it's kind of a little worrying. It's like, why did
Yeah.
they get? How did they
Yeah.
get that part?
Mhm.
Based off of
Yeah.
anybody else?
Gotcha. I will say, and you're not necessarily wrong, but there are a lot of directors who will
Yeah.
use the same actors over and over
Yeah.
again,
I'm
pretty
not-
much for everything.
Right.
And not to say like those aren't necessarily the right or wrong decision either, but a lot of times people may just have a certain actor they like to have, like his brother for like I feel like typically with his brother it's usually like a minor role,
Or like it's a, what do you call it?
supporting
No,
character. Voice.
not just a voice. CGI character.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Anywho, yeah, it's a lot of ways you can use these like a lot of ways you can use the actors that you have used repeatedly. But there's also the opportunities to bring in new actors, and he does bring
Yeah,
in new
he
actors
does.
as well. So, that is something that
There has been a lot of talks. I want to run this by.
yeah.
I don't know if you know who this is. Alexa Daddario. I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
Alexandra Daddario.
Alexandra, yeah.
Yeah, she was in.
She
the
might.
Percy
She might.
Jackson.
A lot of people are trying to get her as Wonder Woman, or she wants to do Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I have someone in my head who I want.
Yeah, same. I think she would be great as Huntress or Zatanna more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it.
You seeing?
I can
You
kind of see the vision.
see the vision. So yeah. I would say this. So let's run it back.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think is the positive and negatives? Let's compare the two and kind of what we think James Gunn should do differently or better to not repeat them, themselves for the Zack Snyder debacle.
Um, I think one, not worrying about
Wow.
Zack Snyder, but not him per se, not him as an individual, but just what he did at
Or Marvel.
or well, James. That's an interesting thing because James Gunn was also at Marvel.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that was the biggest downfall is they were trying to compete with Marvel and trying to be like Marvel.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
which is kind of like he did. James Gunn did some interviews with a certain YouTuber. Some of y'all may have checked those out.
Yeah.
They were mostly the Easter egg kind of people that he reached out to, and only the ones that kind of speak highly of him or whatever. But he was talking about because they were asking him for a certain reason
Yeah.
if he's going to lead to Dark Side, and he basically said one that's Zack Snyder was doing Dark Side in his movies, so he wants to steer clear of that, and also he's a lot like Thanos.
Yeah.
So
Very similar.
so he wants to kind of. It might be a while till we go to Dark Side. We might work up to him as like maybe he's the bigger, like maybe the final boss.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. I would
yeah.
hope they, and also I would hope they would write him a little more differently than they did with Thanos.
Oh yeah.
But I know he's different from
He's
Thanos.
different.
Yeah.
And Darkseid came first.
He did.
And Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos is more of a copy of Darkseid.
But
yeah. But what do you think? But back to your question, what do you think they should do differently? I think start small, like not small, but start like don't don't try to work your way up to these big team ups in these things. Like it's okay to have like you don't have to have every character interact with every character by your third or fourth movie in a big team up. Like you don't have to feel like you're working towards that thing. Like I think certain things will happen more naturally. I think about like the old animated shows I used to watch, a lot of the DC animated series, and you would have crossovers, and it'd be like, okay, this person, you have Batman and Superman team up for some Batman crossover, Superman crossover, and then they go back to just doing their own stuff in their own worlds, and then but you don't have to like feel like you're working your way up to this really big thing, and then once that thing happens, then it's like you're chasing that high again. I feel like you don't have to have that with every story. So I feel like just taking your time, building out the world, having these stories where these characters may interact from time to time, but it's not like they have to be. It's not like you have to have these people over here. That's in a completely different story for people that care about them.
Well, my thing is, the comics are a big way of judging what's popular and what's not.
Yeah.
I would say what works is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Flash sometimes.
Well, it's all about how do you execute them. I think the problem with Zack Snyder was everybody was dark. Same thing with the Arrowverse. They made a Green Arrow a lot like Batman because they couldn't use Batman at the time. So that's why he felt a lot like, Batman.
Is that why also there was the Gotham show was on Fox, which was interesting.
But he never was Batman.
He was never Batman. Yeah.
Because it was around the time of the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight.
Yeah, and they didn't want. I remember they always say like you don't want too many Batman around at the same time.
Which they might do anyways. I think they're gonna have the Brave and the Bold and Batman Part 2 around the same.
They won't be in the same year. I feel like honestly,
maybe not the same year, but I guess back to what I'm trying to say is basically, I would feel like I'm drawing blank.
Take your time. It's okay.
Um, so I feel like not every character has to be dark
Yeah.
and brooding. You know, Superman is very um an uplifting character, which is why a lot of Superman fans love the new Superman, even though they might not have. I still feel like Man of Steel was the better movie, but I think he was very true to who Superman was. And I feel like that's the same way with Wonder Woman. It felt like Zack Snyder was straight up dark almost with everybody. You just gotta be true to the character.
Yeah.
And get the right director. And look at the comic sales. Look at what's popular. Look at who people like more and just try to be more faithful to the comics than trying to do your own spin on them. Instead of doing these obscure characters that nobody knows about, yeah, it works for Guardians of the Galaxy, but that doesn't mean you just try anything and everything just to see what sticks.
Exactly.
I feel like there's a better way to kind of gauge about what you kind of want to win a lot of these fans back, and the way to do that is to kind of hook them, and then you can and I got the reference, but um, and then like once you get them hooked, then you can try new things, but very sparingly. Like you got to be strategic and know what you're doing.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's a good way. Definitely separate the because TV and movies are very different. It's a very different structure.
They are different mediums. Yes.
Yep. So that means they need to do it quite differently. And yeah, James Gunn is only one person, so definitely have somebody. If James Gunn can't be in a certain place, have somebody who kind of agrees with his vision, kind of separate. And I think that's what Marvel should do too, because Kevin Feige is only one person. So he should just be over the movies, and then somebody else who's more familiar with TV but can also be faithful to whatever Kevin Feige's vision is. You know, be over the TV shows, make sure they run correctly, and like you said, they don't have to be like always have to reference what the movies are doing, but have a way to always know, even loose references, or they're in the same world.
Yeah.
You right?
I'm good.
I'm good. But yeah, all in all, we just wanted to touch on those news. And I just say, you know, I think you need to be very faithful to who these characters are.
Yes.
I think that's the key, and make these movies enjoyable, not so cringy.
For sure. Cringy is subjective, for sure. Humor is subjective. Quality, even. Well, I feel like quality is a little bit more objective, but still, not everyone's going to like the same thing.
Of course.
And
of course.
But when you are consistent with your vision, you're going to get you're going to yield more success when you're being consistent and when you are faithful to the comics, even though you don't have to do things one to one, of course, because you still gotta add some level of creativity to it, but don't betray the character and say like, oh, I'm gonna just take one little aspect of this thing and pull a little from. You can do that, but still be faithful to the essence of these characters.
So this is the thought that is going around. And this is just a thought, I don't know who's keeping up with what's popular in the comics right now. You know where I'm going. If we want to use Zack Snyder and make a animated show, or movies in the absolute universe,
Mm-hmm.
I think Zack Snyder would be good with that. Just do it Elseworlds and it's in the absolute universe.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Absolute Batman is killing it right now. So
Yep.
so yeah. Um just a thought. Just a thought.
Like that. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm liking that.
Who would
Um,
be your absolute Batman?
uh, Steve Harvey.
One ball. Crazy.
What about yours? What about yours?
I don't know, you gotta get somebody swole. I don't know.
Uh, would it be somebody from WWE? Would it be that?
I think Batista would be a good Bane, but
Yeah, he's. You got to get like.
again, this is I would say absolute the absolute universe is better animated.
Yeah, the way they look, it probably be better
Yeah,
animated.
it would not
Um,
it would not be good. And that's another thing because there was a time where the animated movies were awesome. There was a lot of classics, but they kind of fell off in the Tomorrowverse or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I would like for them to kind of bring those back. Just kind of connect them. Use it a way to connect to this universe right now.
for
But
sure.
anywho,
That'd be
um,
cool.
do you do we need to talk about anything else?
I don't know, cause I think. Well, what do you feel like the number one thing? Because we talked about what we feel like James Gunn should do. How do you feel like? What do you feel like he's done? Like, what do you say about the job he's done so far? I guess to kind of conclude.
Okay. Um,
With
I've only
DC,
seen two things based off of what he's done in the DC. Well, three things. Suicide Squad,
right?
um, Creature Commandos, and then Superman.
Right. Okay.
Um, based off, we already did a video on Superman. Go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you can check that out. So I'm not gonna dive too deep into that, but um, it was cool. It stayed true to who Superman was. Necessarily, it just wasn't the movie for me. If that's all I'll say about that. Creature Commandos, I think I really liked it. It was very good. Um, and the Suicide Squad, I liked it way better than the other Suicide Squad. Even though I had my boy Will Smith in it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and then killed what's his name?
You want to spoil?
Huh?
You talking about the Suicide Squad or
Yeah, the Suicide Squad.
talking about? Yeah.
If you know, you know.
You know. You know.
But so yeah, I think as it's too early to tell.
Gotcha. But overall, you like the projects. Just
You know,
yeah.
yeah, I think he's doing good so far.
Yeah.
But again, you gotta just like when Marvel, same thing. I think when they reboot, or even right now, you gotta smash these things out of the park. You gotta hook them. And I think right now it's just kind of like when you think about it, the economy is so bad, tickets are so high. You got to be very selective on what movies you see
Yeah.
and when you see them and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at a trailer and it doesn't really look appealing to me, odds are we're probably not going to see that movie, regardless of what critics say. Now, if the critics say it's good, there's another likely, okay, maybe we'll check it out. But that's a slim chance. But if you want to get the box office hits, like with that first week, you got to hook them with the trailer. But the trailer can be very deceiving as we've learned in the Snyderverse. So it's still got to be a good movie.
For sure, for sure.
So yeah, it's just still too early. Um, like I said, I think Clayface is a little letdown. I'm not really, if I'm being honest. It's a movie, but I'm not really too interested in Clayface. Out of all the Batman villains you could have picked Deathstroke. Could have, and they're working on some people from the Batman universe. But as the first Batman villain, you want to go with Clayface? I was like,
Look, man. I'm gonna just say this: James Gunn is always trying to make stories with characters that people don't really care about.
I get it, I get it, and I understand. I know that about James Gunn. What I'm saying is because he did the same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, we all know that.
Yep.
However, they started from ground 0 with people who were. Now, Iron Man was kind of hit or miss, but Captain America was already a popular, well known character. Thor, Hulk. They started with those, did the Avengers movies, then the Guardians of the Galaxy. They waited to see how those films went. Then they brought into those Guardians of the Galaxy movies. That Guardians of the Galaxy first movie was really good. Second one, Third one was really good.
I still like the second one.
Third one was really good, but it was very heavy. So,
I
not
like
rewatchability. So, all I'm saying is, like, you got to work up to that.
I mean,
then you can try new things. I get it. I just don't think it's very smart to try new things this early in the process.
True. I think I will say this. I feel like I don't know what the story's going to be. I think Clayface, it may be better to do as a series. And maybe not like a super long series. It could be like a 6, 8 part, something. But I will also say, James Gunn has started off the DC U with, yes, he did Creature Commandos, which was kind of like a smaller thing, but that was a series.
It was also animated.
And it was animated. But he also, the first movie out the gate was Superman, literally their most popular character. So I think he is keeping that in mind. He's mixing the lesser known with the popular.
He is definitely trying to do different than Marvel. But you got so many other popular characters that you could have chose that aren't basically the core Justice League characters. You can work up to the Wonder Woman, the Flash, all that stuff. You can work up to that. I'm not saying you do the same thing as Marvel did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what characters people like. If you wanted to do a Batman villain, you could have. I'm just going to throw one out there that I've been thinking about. A Scarecrow movie would be so cool. I get it. We've done Scarecrow, but if you want, because this Clayface is supposed to be like a horror, from what I'm hearing, you could still do Scarecrow as a horror. It's more like maybe a slasher or a saw like a psychological thriller type movie. Mm-hmm. Out of everybody think of Batman's Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, Clayface.
True. I'll say this. Two things. They're kind of connected. What James Gunn has said repeatedly is that they don't greenlight a project until they have
a good script.
And a completed script at that. Yep. So it could just be that because I don't want to make any assumptions, but the guy who I believe Mike Flanagan was writing, the one who wrote the script, and it could just be that he really liked the script that was written, and somebody could have just pitched him a great idea and like,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna go with that. It may
Yeah.
not have been like him saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a Clayface movie right after we do blah blah blah. It might have just been that they went with the strongest story that they have at the time,
I got you.
and things could move around as far as dates, but I
Yeah,
feel
he
like
did. He did say like it's things could change as the time goes by, but as we talked about in the beginning of the video, there's a big merger. So a lot of the merger or this buyout can and if James Gunn keeps his job, um, deals with
Mm-hmm.
if these movies are successful, these TV shows are successful. So that's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
It's a it's more easier to just do what is gonna hook people than to try new things, and then you can try new things a little later on as you're more successful. That's all I'm saying.
Very true. Very true.
So I just think there could be better rogues galleries of anybody, not just Batman, that he could have done. You could have written a good script for.
Yeah.
That I just think Clayface, if you think about it, if you're going for what sells, if you say Clayface movie,
Yeah.
that's not an IP that everybody knows about, which may be a reason why they're doing it. Maybe it'll catch some eyes because people don't know, but it's a big sacrifice that I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a sacrifice I wouldn't have made as a head of a studio. I would have done what's more promising. What
you would take the safe bet.
Yes. It's not very conventional, but we're trying to survive and start off first because we got a bad rap, especially when people think of DC movies, they don't think of good movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we'll wrap up now. But anyways, the question is for you. Post your comments. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Coach? Do you have your own opinion? What do you think the DC James Gunn should do? How do you feel about getting bought out? Do you think Zack Snyder might come back? Yeah, post your comments down below. Hey. We got to be unbiased. It might happen. I'm not saying whether we like it or not.
Yeah, they could bring him back.
Something. I think why not? And I don't get me wrong. I would like Henry Cavill to come back. Here's a thought though.
Zod?
If
too obvious.
If you If you here's a thought. If you're so concerned about Zack Snyder, you're a big Zack Snyder fan. Why are you not supporting him in the other projects that he's doing right now? That's not the point. You're still not supporting him. That is my point. You just want the Snyderverse to come back. It's kind of like Henry Cavill is doing stuff with Warhammer and other stuff. The Witcher. Not supporting them there neither. So it's like...
Well, he ain't The Witcher no more. But I know I get your point. Yeah,
he's causing chaos.
Go support Zack Snyder.
Wherever they go, support him there because odds are he might come back, but he might not. I mean,
he definitely not coming back if you ain't supporting him.
That part. But anyways, that is it for today. We rambled on enough, but yeah. But post your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok.
On the Clock app.
Excuse me.
Follow us on the IG.
The IG. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stay safe. We're getting ready to wind down. Ready for the holiday season.
Yeah.
So things might be a little hectic.
I
around this
wouldn't say
time.
hectic, but not as consistent going into
We got
December.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be hectic.
Don't claim that. Hectic is that's a big word.
I know you though,
It's a strong word.
and I looked at the schedule. I'm teasing, kind of. But anywho, yeah, and we got a lot of stuff planned for next year. So stay tuned. Please stay subscribed, and yeah, follow us on the next one.
Yeah, we'll see y'all at the movies.
All right.